had a large supply of HE shells, and they showed them that's not the way to go against people. That's definitely not the way. It took a while, but it took them down.
And it'll be interesting to see what the teams bring here, if they're going to go anything similar or go with fairly standard picks. Micmac is not going to be in an Electo. Don't know why that's showing there. We'll have a look at the tank lineups down the bottom. The ones at the top are not necessarily the correct ones, but, well, them's the breaks. Let's actually have a look at this one once it starts up. eSuba looking like they're going with multiple IS-7s and Batchats regardless. Who cares? Will be interested to see their lineup in more detail. So they're going with multiple IS-7s as well, double Batchat. So mirror matchup, Mojo.
5 IS-7s, 2 Batchats, 5 IS-7s, 2 Batchats. I actually prefer setups that have 4 heavy tanks plus 3 Batchats, because it gives you more mobility. Then you can, in a specific moment, run in with Batchats and clear out the IS-7s on lower HP. While 4 or 5 IS-7s, in my opinion, doesn't really matter that much. Still, that's the choice of these players. Anji is going alone over the village side, and he can join the fight from the side. It's gonna be just an all-out roll, but it's much harder with IS-7s to pen the turrets, of which is pretty much impossible, so you have to peek over. And that's why I say, like, I prefer those Batchats, because then you can at least put one Batchat away and make some kind of pressure from the back.
Yeah, it looks like exactly what Unji's going to start doing. Mojo's going to start heading up there. You can see in the minimap moving down the 7 line to get coverage at the top, but at the same time, number 1 is starting to kind of cover back to air. Pratilicek's going to back up Unji, so it's going to be double Batchats coming in from the back. They're going to try and catch Who Cares in the pincer movement here. It's going to be very coordinated here from eSuba, but it can fail really quickly. I mean, Who Cares might just decide to jump on the tanks in the middle, and the Batchats might not be able to help if they push over the ridge.
Yeah, that's a big problem, because they might overmatch them now. There is already push coming in on a 1 line by Who Cares. That's a really important moment. Pratilicek and Anji are trying to snipe them from the back. I don't think this is a way to go for them. I think they might lose a round because of this.
Pratilicek and Unji have peaked, they've shown their position, and Who Cares need to react to this, Mojo. They're going a bit slow. Lucky Blast and Gremic and number 1 are starting to move down that 1-2 line, but I was kind of expecting the rest of Who Cares tanks just to simply push right over in the middle really quickly. There still is the danger, I suppose, of Pratilicek and Unji shooting them in the back, but so far, Who Cares yet to take damage, and it's eSuba that are bleeding health right now.
This is not the way eSuba wanted this to go. Batchats are already damaged. The IS-7s are crossing toward the lines of Who Cares, but Who Cares has really decent setup. Look how they're melting their HP. Andre is taking some damage from Who Cares, but that's about it.
Unji now down to a 1 shot from peeking, trying to get shots in. Overus is now taking damage in the middle in return. Who Cares? They're trying to focus into Andre, trying to get him to drop. He's down onto 370, so he's also a 1 shot. Right now, the trade is not at all going in favour of eSuba, who are roughly about 2,000 HP down across both teams right now. And Andrew is now being punished from eSuba for peeking. He seems to be the focus right now. Who Cares might be able to drop him first.
Here Gremet is coming and focusing on combat together with Halu, but they have a lot of IS-7s in a second trench, so they're not gonna really fight with them. They shouldn't. Halu, mate, you should focus on the guy that is right next to you. You should just finish them off and let the others. But the call from the team came. They need to finish Overus and Looking for some reason. The number of the guns in HP is still on Who Cares side, so they can do whatever they want, even that kind of sloppy focus.
And here comes the push from Who Cares. They're going to finish off the remaining tanks of eSuba. Unji trying to shoot from the back lines, but his teammates have already fallen. Those 3 IS-7s, Overus, Lucan and Andrew were just isolated from the rest of the team. Nobody else could provide covering fire, nobody else could provide support, and Who Cares just wrapped around them and just squeezed them slowly to death.
As I said, I really didn't like when I saw Anji and Pratilicek going from the lower side of the map, because when you leave the IS-7s alone, you just expose your entire team. We've seen it multiple times in this season. That's the way to get overrun. Batchats are not the most brilliant sniping vehicles in this game, and they're really easy to take out when they're peeking from the rail. On the other hand, when you control the forest side, when you snipe with your Batchats in the back of IS-7s from there, you have an elevated position, you're hidden by the bushes, and you can do whatever the hell you want.
And once again, combat is now taken out by Who Cares, because he has no support from his team. He can't get any cover from the teammates that are on the other side of the rails. Frawley's now isolated as well. Lucky Blast is going to peek and try and finish him off. Gets the double kill. And now it's 4 tanks of Who Cares left, 2 of eSuba. So it looks like this one's clearly going to be going to Who Cares to start off this match. Going to be round 1 in Who Cares' favour.
Well, Gremek is almost full HP, so they really have nothing to deal with him. Lucky Blast takes the bullet here, but Pratilicek and Anji are both on 1 shot, and they cannot change their own fate.
Unji left with a Sliver of chance, but it's never going to happen because he's on reload, and Grim's going to come off reload himself in a single shooter and finish him off for number 1, almost getting in the way of that shot. Grimmick picking himself up a double kill at the end, and who cares, taking the lead 1-0.
Well, this is a decent play by Who Cares, but sloppy planning by eSuba, as I already said. Most of the time, when you brawl on Pro Horoka, it's just those little gray areas, how the tanks split, they're deciding actually who will win the focus fire, if someone is overextending while he's peeking in a cooldown, or if a Bachat is on a wrong spot and things like that. The moment that 2 Bachats were spotted on the other side, you could even see before that the Bachat of Who Cares running away and already positioning for the forest post.
Yeah.
That was pretty much the moment they already lost the game, and it was before the first shot was fired. Halu and Lucky Blast are the only guys from Who Cares on the first page, but that means that the second page from eSuba is probably disastrous, and most of the guys of Who Cares are just doing the damage there.
Spread across the team for sure, yeah. If only 2 of them are on the front page, it shows that there's an equal amount of work being put in by everybody there. Multiple shots to take and multiple targets to shoot at in the middle. They were able to just simply isolate the tanks of eSuba 3 at the start and then combat himself. It was fairly simple actually for them. Once they saw where those 2 Bachats were, knew that they could use that positional play to their advantage, they couldn't really help, especially the fact that they took the damage at the start as well.
Yeah, so not really great map understanding here by eSuba, but still the match just started. We've seen eSuba recover many times over, while we've also seen, as example, Who Cares starting the match with a lead of 3-0 with Ding and just throwing it away like nothing happened whatsoever. So the night is young. Let's see what will eSuba do after, because in all honesty, eSuba needs only 1 point from this match, and they are absolutely secure, while Who Cares would need to win this clear. As I said, better than 5-2.
Yeah. eSuba
better than 5-3, so 5-2 maximum, and then they need to win against Go Hard for 3 points again.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure is very much here on Who Cares compared to eSuba. eSuba have, you know, multiple results that can go their way. Who Cares really need to go all out for a win, and they haven't necessarily had clean wins this season. I think they're the same as Savage Squad, all their points coming from tiebreakers and not actually being able to win a match cleanly.
Yeah,
whereas eSuba have won at least 1 cleanly against
Actually,
Ding.
they won 3.
They won 3?
They won against Who Cares in round robin 1. In robin 2, they won against Ding 5-3, and they won against Savage Squad 5-2. So they have 3 clear wins.
Okay.
And that's where their points come from. And they have 1 tiebreaker win against Savage Squad also in first round robin. So that's where their points are coming from. On the other hand, Who Cares has only tiebreaker wins or losses for points, not a single clear win in the entire season.
Similar lineups coming out from before, but this time the teams have dropped a heavy tank. Who Cares taking an extra Batchat, and eSuba now taking an STRV. Common tank you see a lot of the time on defense. It can play extremely well on those rails, but if it gets spotted, it gets wrecked. Nice crossfire initially coming in here from Andrew and Pratilicek, focusing into Andre. Now putting shots into Gremic. They're going to back off slightly in a second. Weather a bit of a storm, can be quite hard to hit those tanks on that ridgeline.
They are now in reload, and this is a danger. If actually Who Cares gathers up and pushes with this Bachats from the flank in them, they might overmatch them. Yes, there is some damage done on Who Cares I7s. That's really nice. It's about 2 shots per I7s on Andre and Gremek, but that's about it. That's not something you can really win a game with.
Number 1 and Lucky Blast have moved up that 1-2 line. It's very similar to how things went in the first round here, actually. eSuba trying to do initial peak and damage with the Batchats, not doing enough, realistically,
nice
with the Batchats, and now Who Cares starting to reposition himself, perhaps counter.
Yeah, they're repositioning now, blind shooting even the position where Anji is. But the main thing is they already control the forest side, and these I7s are stuck on this side, more or less. Senti is trying to leave on the lower side, and this is a major mistake.
Senti getting himself tracked here. You could see the fire being held by Pratilicek until his teammate told him he was ready. Pratilicek might be able to get one into the top of the turret here. Ooh. He does! Fantastic shot! Picking off Senti from distance there, and advantage immediately going into eSuba's favour, because Who Cares have now lost the Batchat.
Now, this is a major game changer. This is gonna force Who Cares guys to do some kind of reaction and regain initiative. But will they be able to force their way in? I don't think so, because I think there is a lot of eSuba focus fire right here on the rail crossing.
Who Cares going for an all-or-nothing push in over the rails, but looks like they decided to back off. They're going aggressive into the IS-7s of eSuba, but you do have the covering fire from the Batchats, and you also have Unji in the background on the STRV. He's not spotted. He can continue to fire shots into any IS-7 that crosses that rails, and that'll be a very dangerous push by Who Cares. Right now, IS-7 is trading with IS-7s in a hold-down position. Mojo, that is a horrible thing to have to shoot at, isn't it?
Amazing, but I have a feeling that Overus, I mean, that's what I see. Overus is actually turned with his butt toward up because he expects some fire to come from Batchat from the forest. But if the I-7s push, he will be defending himself with his back.
Oh my god, down to 241 HP already. We said that earlier on. If he's spotted, he'll get wrecked so quickly, and look at how much damage he took there.
There is a damage again coming from the Batchats from the hill on the I-7s on the middle. There is no decisive push here. They're constantly trying to use their low silhouettes and just do some kind of pressure, but the HP they're wasting in this process is huge.
Lucky Blast was on a reload. That might have been him that clipped out into the side of Unji there. Number one taking some damage in his Batchat as he peeks over. Frolly wanting to go a bit more aggressive. Combat wanting to go a bit more aggressive here. Frolly has the most HP in his team, but Who Cares holding into this position. Now it's eSuba that are starting to bleed HP that they don't need to be losing. Over is taking lots of damage. This is it. eSuba pushing in now. They want to try and finish this one. They don't necessarily have the supports of the Batchat, but Andrew does get the kill on Grimmick. Andrew pushing right in the middle there in his Batchat, trying to do as much damage with his clip before he goes, but Pure Love takes him down. Frolly now gets a kill back in Andrew. Pratilicek's going to come off reload, and he's going to start clipping out into someone as Looking drops Halu. Pure Love is only one left with number one Love, and then Lucky Blast. This looks like it's going to be going in eSuba's favor.
I think Pratilicek should save she shells and just go and chase number one Claudia, because these IS-7s are good as dead already. Just focus yourselves on Batchat so you can just delete them from the game. But it will not change the fate of Who Cares. They are not in position to come back into this match. They lost all the positions. They lost the number of the guns. HP doesn't matter anymore.
Lucky Blast now with a single shot. Number one still on reload. Pratilicek hasn't chased him down, so they're going to let number one reload and come back into this. But look at this already. They've got themselves back over the rails. Nice shot there from Unji into the face of Lucky Blast. 410. Lucky Blast left on 122 HP. He can't really peek. He is actually going back over. Oh! Unji misses with the shot on the rear there. Looks like it was either a connection with no damage or perhaps just tracked him. Lucky Blast playing a dangerous game here, going back over the middle area, and now it's up to number one. What can he peek and see? Because he does have a bit of HP to play with here.
Nice cooldown position here. Nice shot by Claudia. That's what I said. Like, Pratilicek should have just saved the shells and just pushed Claudia immediately. Like, disregarding the I-7 on the middle behind him. He would have enough shells to kill him, and just the game would already be done. It's not like something will really change in this game, because Lucky Blast has no HP to work with, and he's separated by far with Claudia. So if something happens in this game in favor of Who Cares, that would be a huge, huge throw by eSuba.
Unji wants to peek over and get him, but Unji will have to expose his belly in doing so, and Lucky Blast will happily take the shot through that. But Lucky Blast doesn't necessarily know if anyone else is trying to get an angle on him at the same time, because he can't watch both areas. So dangerous. Overus and Pratilicek are going to push up into number one, who's actually going past him almost, but he's going to get caught out in just a second. They're going to start trading in with him. Overus can take the hits. Pratilicek can then start farming the damage. Now Pratilicek can favour the one-on-one easily in his favour. One more shot and number one will go down. Triple kill for Pratilicek. Lucky Blast now the only one surviving for Who Cares. It's going to be 1-1 here on Prokhorovka to start things off.
Angie was just making sure that Lucky Blast is still there, so they know they can single out the other Batchat from Who Cares. As long as the Lucky Blast was proxy, that means there is no support fire coming, and that's it. So he didn't really have to kill him or peek. I don't know, like, why is actually Lucky Blast wasting time now, considering they're attacking and they can have nothing to gain anymore by prolonging this round.
Time to chat out, I guess, just to frustrate a little bit more of eSuba, but Looking, picking up the double kill to end that. eSuba, nice plays from the start there. Teams slightly changed the lineups from the previous round, but one-for-one trade. I think both teams will be happy with that. More so eSuba, because as long as they're not 2-0 down, as long as they're still in the battle, really, as long, you know, everything's working in their favour.
I expected here 1-1, because I didn't think any of them is actually good enough here to take both rounds. But there go Pratilicek, 4.3k almost coming in this match, 3 kills, really good performance. I think he could have fired me even more if he was more aggressive in that one moment.
Halu's
but it doesn't matter.
Impressive. Nearly 4K.
Is it impressive or there was a lot of
It's bad
shells?
shooting, yeah.
That's probably a lot of shells coming from the hill that didn't pen him because of the low silhouette. What I was trying to say, like on a cliff, that will be the next map here. This is where actually I think eSuba has a chance to take the match in their hands, because the track record of Who Cares here is horrendous. They really barely won a single. I think they won 1 out of the 10 games, and it was a defense. 0 attacks, while eSuba actually plays it nice. And even in the last match against the Savage squad, they really did a number of them, took both rounds. And if you remember, Savage squad plays something passive standard they just dismantled them.
It was exactly as you said. Savage squad's defensive lineup on Cliff, you can pretty much start the battle and say, he's going to be here, he's going to be here, that tank's going to be there.
Raven's going to be there. Oh, 3-2-1. Dun. Raven on one shot.
Every time, like, you know, that tank, the defensive lineup from Savage squad, quite readable actually on Cliff. So Savage squad probably listening to this and going, ha, we'll show them in the next round. Ding won't know what's coming.
7 STRVs incoming.
Yeah. Now, Cliff, map that's going to be changing big time when we switch over to HD graphics, looking more like somewhere in Greece. Absolutely fantastic and almost unrecognizable. But for now, standard lineup here. Multiple Batchats and the TVP. Batchat's been favoured on this map just simply because of their flexibility and there's a lot of ground to cover.
Same lineup for eSuba in attack. 6 Batchats and 1 TVP. Mobile setup that can rotate around the map. That's good. They're not relying on heavy tanks to break the armor in some positions. That means that they can really rotate a lot. As we said, Who Cares on other side playing pretty much the same. Identical.
Yeah, all Batchats and a TVP, all Batchats and a TVP. Looking on the TVP for eSuba, Senti on the TVP for Who Cares. Now, already damage going out onto eSuba as they make that crossing. Senti is able to get a shot into Frawley, and that's going to have Overus and Frawley up in that area. Unji just holding off. He could have perhaps got a shot, but Senti immediately went back safe behind the building. Look
at the backup plan for eSuba. They actually took this, but they're keeping still 2 Batchats behind if there is a counter push coming in back of these 2 guys, Frawley and Overus. Also, if there is a frontal push coming on them, they can just back off and they will immediately have a couple of guys sniping. But since there was no reaction, they are now leaving and they will go from the other side of the map. A rather risky play, I would say, because now if there is a significant push, Overus would pretty much be on his own. Frawley would be able to do a clip, but that's it. Still, they would at least trade 1 for 1 tank, so that's a good understanding by eSuba here. And in the start of the map, they left Combat completely alone on the other side, but Who Cares had no meanings, and they still have no means of knowing that.
It's interesting to point out as well the way that eSuba now are moving across the map. They were doing so that they don't get spotted from anyone up on top of the hill, because there is 2 Who Cares tanks up on top of that hill. So eSuba have to be very careful of their positioning when they try and move over in support of combat, or just to be able to cover combat and don't get themselves spotted, because that would give information to Who Cares, who would then do that counter-attack module like you're saying onto Overus and Lucan's area.
Yeah, but Combat is rather positioned well. The biggest danger for Combat is just not to overextend too much. But there is no real angles where Who Cares can shoot them from.
Remick taking a hit there.
Okay, like he's taking 2 hits, and he was spotted.
From, not Frawley, so it's Lucan, I guess, below him. Yeah, Lucan getting the shot there. Unji Pratlicek coming over as well. Looks like they're actually gathering up on that side, Mojo, to try and do something.
This is a good play, because now when Grebek had to back off, they know there is no one spotting the lower line. They can actually gather up and maybe do a full 1-2 line push, try to take out a couple of the tanks from them. Because Combat is alone, he actually had to fall down from the mountain, and there must be some kind of reaction from eSuba here. Look at this, they're taking the blind angle here.
eSuba going to push right in there. Let's listen into their team speak.
Kombat vpravo. Prava. Musíme je dál, Pojďme až na Gremeka. Jo, pojďme na Gremeka. Odjíždě. Stahují se k vám, jo, ty 2 boti. Jo, jedeme. Jdem. Třetina mi jdu. Gremka. Tady za barák. Jedu zprava. Gremek -1. Dáte ho? Nice. Můžem další? Jedou k nám na mid.
Lidi jedou na mid, no. Já vám nemám.
Tak pojďme toho na TVP nahoře.
Tebím, já jsem na roadu.
TVP, můžem TVP? Nevidím.
Pěkně.
Luky, jenom mě dotáhnout tady nahoru. Cože? Jsi nahoru. Už je tady. Dva tady jsou aspoň. 3 tam jsou. Andrew, prostě by se můžou schovat. Pozor. 4 tam jsou, 4. Počkej, pojď. Jura, kompate můžeš? Mám ještě jedno. Nabijím.
Střídat webko, kámo.
Já tě můžu spotnout možná.
Já nabijím, jo, pak můžu se zase klepovat.
To asi nespotneš, Andrew.
No,
nespotneš, no.
So Mojo, from that initial push, it looked like a bit of careless positioning there kind of cost eSuba dearly.
Yeah, Suba overestimated how many tanks Who Cares actually has down, sent too many butchers down, then Froley overextended by far after killing Gremek. Just got himself killed for no reason whatsoever. And Overus took so much HP while protecting the 3 line that he actually had no HP to stop them anymore after that. I think they needed to have at least one more butcher on the upper line there to hold off Who Cares tanks while their tanks are fighting on the lower line. That was a major mistake by eSuba, and it will probably cost them around. By HP, they're pretty similar. But position-wise...
Oh, combat being forced out at the bottom of the map as well. Lucky Blast taking him on in a one-on-one. Lucky Blast should be able to win this with the last shot. Just pushes his wreckage downhill, and that's the back door wide open now for eSuba.
As I said, position-wise, eSuba has no tactical advantage anywhere anymore. Like, all the high ground is held now in Who Cares. If we just... I mean, this is a game called World of Tanks. If you even watch normal tactics from a normal world and tank battles, higher ground wins the battle, always.
Overus stuck below here of Pure Love. Looking here from the viewpoint of Andre through the player view cam, seeing exactly what Andre's looking at. This is his point of view. He's just keeping watch down on this small village where the tanks and eSuba are now stuck in, can't do anything. Tried to make a play for base 1, hold the north area of the map, but they failed hard here. They got no way to get over to base 2, and Who Cares are more than happy just to run the clock down right now.
There is nothing to do here. Like, they can just mess up their forces and just go finish the round. Because Who Cares here is no reason to attack them. They're defending on this map, on this side. And every action has to be taken by eSuba, and they're stuck. They're stuck like rats in a maze, man. They have no way out.
Andrew moving forward here, trying to get some vision for his team, but nothing happening. Halo now starting to move up. In some point, Who Cares are just going to get their tanks into position and just decide to push in the certain areas. Already an angle on Overus. Nice double play there. Lucky Blast picking up a double kill. He's going to come back off. Still got 4 shots ready to go. That was a nice double tap between him and Halo. Lukin's going to try and push up, try and do something here, but he's just going to expose himself to crossfire. Does get a couple shots into Halo. Number 1's backed off. Lukin could be shot at now, so number 1 just has to be careful he doesn't get shot at from below where Pradlicek has an angle on him. But Lukin takes another one.
Nice connection here by
Halo. He backs
Halo.
off there from Halo, and now Lukin from full health was down to 1 shot, and Lucky Blast is like, oh mate, I just want a triple here.
He almost got it here. If he waited for half a second more, he might have actually connected that, but it doesn't really change anything in this game. This is all solo plays, and they're stuck. They have nowhere to go. Andrew and Pratelicek are the only guys with some HP left, but what will they do with it? I mean, they lower the HP of these guns of Who Cares tanks on the upper plate here, but still, there is so many of them, and there is so little time. Oh, Halo has that commander. Not like he has to spot anyways.
Yeah, I was wondering if he had that before now, but I think he's had that in that exchange.
And there you go, final push coming in.
Andrew, Pradlicek and Onjay pushing up here with a look in. Probably Andrew or Pradlicek's going to lead the way because they have a bit more HP to trade. Perhaps push out, take out Halo before they can go down. Perhaps take out number 1. They do take out Halo super quick actually and don't take any damage back for it. Who Cares have to be careful in managing their HP properly because eSuba might be playing aggressive and loose here right now, but Who Cares should be able to reposition their tanks and deal with this rather easily as Lucky Blast can now come round the back and start cleaning up.
This is the problem because now they can just peek from every possible angle and wait and shoot them. It's like a shooting gallery in here.
Doof, doof, doof. All 3 tanks gone now. Double kill at the end for Pure. And there we go. 2-1 to Who Cares. eSuba trying something different for once. Going for a 1-2 line push. Not something we saw for quite a while, but not working in their favour, unfortunately.
I think in essence what they wanted to do would work if executed better, if they just committed less tanks down, but they were expecting probably far more resistance. Lukin, the only guy with some significant damage here, almost 3.2k. Most of it was done in the last clip.
End.
On Halo.
Yeah, that last clip, yeah.
Like almost entire, all 4 shells actually were done there. And the rest is just displaced between Who Cares tanks. They had a really nice and easy round here because eSuba misplayed themselves. If I want to stay on track with my prognosis here, eSuba needs to win 4 in a row now.
True. Yes, true. And you said it was perhaps going to be 2-0 to eSuba for this one as well.
Yeah, it was a possibility.
Now, teams are going to switch sides. Who cares going to be on attack? eSuba going to be on defense. Wonder if Who Cares are going to be feeling confident right now. If they can go 3-1 up here, I mean, like we said, a 3-0 win, or sorry, a clean win here, vitally important, and they still have a chance of getting that 6th spot. 6th spot means they get into playoffs. All they need to do is win one more match against whoever, and at the LAN finals. It's crazy. They can go from 8th place in 2 matches, 3 matches effectively, 8th place to LAN finals.
From 0 to hero. But first they have to break the defense of eSuba here. And defense of eSuba actually endured much more than Who Cares. Like, they have 80% in it. So that's rather good. While Who Cares has a best track record of attack ever. They have nothing to lose with this attack because they never won one.
Yeah, and this is going to be interesting because eSuba have a very strong defensive win ratio and Who Cares have a, well, they don't have an attack win ratio, let's put it that way. It's the easiest way to say it. Defense from eSuba bringing out that STRV. We pretty much know where that one's going to be. More likely parked at A5, or there is a potential to be at a B1, but more than likely it's going to be at A5. And then it's going to be a case of how much blind shooting can be done to connect with it.
If it's allowed. You cannot always blind shoot from every possible angle. It really depends, but because eSuba has TVP and STRV, my guess is that STRV is actually maybe going to stay down, but we'll see.
Who Cares sending all the tanks
Andrew wants to snipe down.
around to the right-hand side of the lighthouse. Actually quite aggressive here from Who Cares. Everyone's sticking up together. And they're going to take middle control, Mojo, and they want to take control of that lighthouse area quite quickly.
This is a super aggressive approach by them, but they still need to wait for that I7. I7 is absolutely crucial for them for any kind of push.
Combat tracked and actually slid down the hill there as he was tracked, so actually worked in his favour. Could have been held up at the top of the hill.
A lot of positions lost here for eSuba now. The heavy tank is not in position. They actually don't have even a proxy on the middle. What on earth were they doing? They didn't even send a tank straight to the middle. That's why I said, like, I expected Andrew to be up and STRV to be down, because Andrew could have clipped entire first clip on these guys who are peeking and then go back on the upper position, while looking, could have watched from the elevated position down. Now, actually, Who Cares is in good position to win this round, because they have the control of the higher ground, and the guys from eSuba have to really do some peculiar moves to deal with it. Halo is here a problem for them also because they cannot overextend. He can clip them, but nice connection, nice snapshot here by Frolly.
Nice shooting there from Frolly. He actually gets 2 into Halo now. Halo's having to turn and run.
Oh, ho, ho, what a throw.
Halo might take damage from this going down, but no, he gets down safely. Super dive from him coming down that hill. And then actually he's dead. It's Prattlicek picking up the kill there.
2 budgets in reload here for eSuba, and we really need to hear them what's going to happen, because this is the final moment.
Speak of Who Cares as they try and make this push work in their favor.
Akurat wszedłem na ciebie.
Dajcie Froliego.
Jadę zająć pozycję.
Zobaczcie się za nisko, bo tam
No
jest
kurwa,
TVP.
skillu!
TVP już jest tam na dole. TVP z prawej.
Kurwa, podjechałeś do
Do góry
góry, no.
wjedźcie już.
A ja ginę.
Repusz. Ty już strike.
Ester Forest
Patrzę, że strajk.
Andrzej.
A oni nas repuszują.
Tak.
No.
Uciekaj,
Wycofajcie się, skillu brać spierdalać.
Bez tyrwa.
Spierdam.
Ja dojeżdżam do was.
Kończę.
Na spokojnie, nie jest źle.
To nieźle, ja to jadę. Jadę i to
Ja
zrepuszujemy.
ładuję.
To ładuj się.
Na streeta uważaj skill.
Wiem, co jakieś skałki wziąć.
Ja też spierdalam.
Ester Forest.
Stój.
Ale Gramek, nie.
Będę na heala. Tak.
Ile masz prosto grama?
Na heala.
Ale musimy
Pustę
to
mnie na heala.
wypuszczać, guys.
Ja jadę na
Oni mnie
jadę.
stąd wyciągną.
Jadę od dołu.
Możemy uspokoić grę, czy ktoś ginie? Oni mnie stąd mogą wyciągnąć.
Jadę tam
Blasty
przecież,
się,
Gremek.
Jedź.
Spokojnie.
No jakby
Ja mam
tam
5
pojechał-
sekund reloada.
A nie mógłby tam
A te dwa
szybko
baty...
jakby sztyblas
Te 2 baty, ile masz?
Jeszcze przodu, ja mam fulla, tyle, ledwo.
A nie możesz jednym batem cofnąć
Ja
stamtąd?
spierdolam stąd.
Nie, po prostu musimy to zrobić. Ja podjadę zaraz na klos, tym batem dawaj do mnie.
Jednak.
Zrobimy ten przód.
A ja dam radę, dam...
Well, that's a bit of a frustrated sounding TeamSpeak, Mojo.
Yeah, but still the game is not lost. They lost Halo for nothing. That's the biggest mistake they've made so far. But I would say eSuba misplayed by far in the start of the game, and they let them all the high ground positions here. So Who Cares now has the problem with HP on tanks. That's quite obvious here, and they still want to fight. I don't know. I would still try, if I were them, I would still try to pressure the cap with one guy who is on low HP. Just put him on a cap.
Go for the 2 cap, yeah.
Yeah, and play like that because Overus cannot cross and spot. There is no one actually who can. That would force eSuba to go in a crossfire and fight with them. It looks like they're just positioning for the counter-attack, and if that happens, I think eSuba will massacre them.
Yeah, it's strange because Who Cares started off with some kind of looking like they were going to do a cap 2 pressure, and then the minute that they lost Halu, they ran everybody over to the left-hand side of the map to try and do something. They almost caught a tank from eSuba running away, but they were very smart in stopping because the rest of the tanks from eSuba were ready to catch them had they gone down. So now Who Cares, like you say, with the high ground, but not working it in their favour. Like you said, they keep wanting to go for this fight, which is a bit of a strange thing to do when you have such a powerful potential to play for a cap tactic.
You still have the TIE 7 and you can play on it, but damage is coming from various sides here. If they don't manage to drop tanks here really fast, look at the Lucky Blast, the damage he's taking in their backs, and they're not scoring any significant gain here.
No damage really going back. It was only Overus is starting to take damage now, but he still survives on 54 HP. He's a single shooter though. You still have Pradlicek with 2 shots. Andrew's in a reload. Combat still has 2 shots. Pradlicek has 1 more shot. He doesn't connect that one.
He does. He shot
Pure. I thought he was aiming at Andrew. There's Andrew's one that missed. Andrew with 3 shots. Andre, sorry, can come around. Unji's going to come around, try and get one of his 3 shots out, but Unji himself is a 1-shot. Lots of tanks down low. Very low health now, Mojo. Almost everybody is on a 1-shot, other than looking in the STRV, who's just held in that position by Sente.
Claudia managed to drop Overus. That's really, really important here, because all the HP held here for eSuba is on Lukin. But if they manage to drop Pure or Andre here, this game will be a loss for Who Cares.
Combat, nice one on Andre. Andre was pre-aiming there as well, and Combat could roll out and take a hit. Now, who wants to take a hit from Pure right now? Because Andre, Pradlicek or Combat could go out. He does get a hit in. 310 saved there on a low roll, but only for the next shot to come in and kill him. Who Cares down to 3 tanks. Lucky Blast takes one in the face, down to 40 HP. Sente still up in that area holding for Lukin there, but Lukin still has all the HP, so in a minute, number 1's going to fall. Then they're going to focus into Sente, who they know where he is because Lukin has him proxied. Lucky Blast still surviving though, if a slight hit of health might actually kill Andre here.
Yeah, Senti and Lucky are the last players for Who Cares, but I think they already blew their chance to win this game. It was too risky and they didn't shoot that well enough in those last moments. So Senti is now stuck below Lukin. Lukin doesn't really have to do anything. He can just drop on him and kill him.
Lukin picks up the kill using the gun depression of the STRV in his favour, and now we have the teams tied 2 for 2 after the first 2 maps. Prokhorovka down, Cliff down. We're going to be going into Mines next. eSuba are going to be happy with this. Frustrating that they're not having a clear lead, but they're going to be happy with a draw.
Yeah, the way it looks like they can really be satisfied with what's going on because they're not playing up to their best, I would say. A bit sloppy on tactics and everything. But I think my prognosis of 5-2 is down the drain completely. I don't think any of these teams can take 2-0 on Mines unless they actually just fight on the middle. If they just play slow games,
fights, yeah,
then no way. Froli, Lukin and Anji on the top from eSuba, Claudia and Pure the King.
So, I mean, you saw a lot of the time damage not being done, but it wasn't being done by damage blocked unless the lower team, unless the lower players had lots of block damage. I guess a lot of missed shots coming out there.
You can't have block damage here when you have only 1 heavy tank and 1 TD in this kind of game.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you saw a lot, like multiple shots going out and not necessarily damage being done all the time. So
yeah, because a lot of times they just see the fraction of turret and they cannot really peek to aim properly because they would take a shot back, so they're trying to take snapshots. And then it's a hit or miss situation. But the main problem is like the execution of the guys from Who Cares who had advantage in that moment, though the gun less. They had a clear advantage. I just don't agree with it. Yeah,
I mean, what I was trying to get to though is that perhaps if it was like a team like Ding or Oops or Kazna Crew, like you would have a lot more of those shots hitting rather than missing. So I mean, the inexperience of the teams perhaps coming through there with their shooting.
It's just the positions of Who Cares and the push of the budget in behind. I didn't like it. That I7 and full budget who were trying to focus the tanks below, they had a chance to finish the game on their own with good cooperation, and the budget had to come from the back later. But like this, he just exposed himself and they lost the game pretty much in that moment.
Going into Mines now. Everything still to play for here in eSuba's favour. Who Cares are going to be feeling frustrated because they had a bit of a lead at the start there, but it's been 1-1 and then 2-2. never been able to fully break away more than one round, but super heavy defensive line out coming out here. We're seeing an E3, we're seeing an E4, we're seeing a Mouse, IA7, 50B, and then that T100. So I wonder if eSuba are going to, well, they're not going to be able to spot a T100, but Mojo, your favourite AMX 13105 coming out here as well.
Yes, 13105 is coming here on attack side, no less. That's an interesting pick. I'm wondering, will they even try to maybe shoot someone who is crossing to the island? This setup usually says that the light tank will go to the island and that Batshot will try to spot from something like H4 if someone crossing to cover him a bit while the super heavies and everyone else disperses. But there we go, Froley is going super aggressive on the one line already.
He's running for it. He does get spotted. He spots out Lucky Blast. No one's really ready to shoot Lucky Blast. He's going to go trade for trade right now with Froley. Fight between them. Froley took one on the crossing and then turned to face that. Allowed Lucky Blast to get one into the side of him as well.
This is the advantage when you have that Batshot, because Batshot can then just spot instead of Lucky Blast, and Lucky Blast can actually do that first kind of shot. This is a big advantage for them because Froley is a paper tank, a French tank, and even if he fires the entire clip on Lucky Blast, he cannot kill him unless he ammo racks him. Like 390 alpha is just not enough for that in any kind of ridiculous RNG.
Froley now stuck behind that area because if he peeks one side, Lucky Blast or somebody else is going to be able to shoot him. If he goes the other way, a lot of HP and number one Claudia in that IS7 who can push into Andrew, who's shooting in front of him into Gremic. Andrew does actually get a kill into to Senti instead. The number one.
What
Oh my god!
the hell?
Can you say throw of the century? If eSuba turned this around, there is where it all went wrong. Halu picks up Andrew, and that might have actually just saved his team because that could have been absolutely disastrous. Up is down, number one. Up is down.
They are very lucky because the time will expire, and they have simply no time to kill Claudia or to actually even deal with Andre.
Claudia's going to die. He's on his roof. Andrew they need to kill. If they can get a kill on Andrew here, they're not. Oh, they're out now. Time's up. Wow, that was way closer than it needed to be, and that would have been a textbook example of a throw of a match. Wow, yeah. To be stuck with the light tank in that corner and the mouse below to be able to not push up, crazy.
Unbelievable. If there was anyone who can kill the light tank there, they would actually...
This is not going to be won by skill. This is going to be won based on who plays... Who's giving it to the other team. It's not a win, it's a loss in a way. It's not really like one team's doing it because they played better. They're doing it because the other team played much worse, if that makes sense, you know?
Oof. What a round. Well, still, it ended up in favor of who cares. So there is a lot of mishmash going on here. I actually liked the eSuba in previous matches more. It looked more safe.
More coordinated.
Coordinated,
yeah,
whatever you want.
More skillful.
But who cares? In their best tradition here, even when they are like winning the match, they kind of find a way to balance it out almost to the end. But they took a round, and that's all that matters. They can be satisfied with that by far. Now they will have to deal with the attacking side, and I hope they are all paying attention where the rocks are on mines. Man, it starts to be like a minefield.
To drop down from that area and do that, just to roll onto his top, and then, yeah, Halu couldn't do anything to help him. Just not enough time left for eSuba to potentially do something. I mean, all that needed to happen is the mouse and light run in beside each other. Mouse peeks over, takes a shot, then the light runs round. And
I'm not sure they actually realized that heavy tank is on a roof. Otherwise, they would just charge on E3 immediately.
Yeah, they had no vision on it, I guess. That's crazy, absolutely crazy. Okay, now let's see what can be done. Switching tanks switching positions now. Froley still with that AMX 13105. Mojo, you really love that tank, didn't you? You were really singing its praise earlier on.
Yeah, I really like it. I mean, but it's, as I said, in randoms. Here you have to play it completely different because you can finish off the vehicles. You cannot really open engagement because you have not enough burst potential to kill anyone one-on-one. But if someone is damaged, yeah, you are superior by far.
Aggressive immediately here from Who Cares going down the water side into base 2.
When you take a T100 light, that's exactly what you're saying. I'm gonna push immediately for one side and try to spot the enemy.
Lucky Blast does spot him, shots go out, no connections coming in. Froley gets himself safe. Lucky Blast! Well, I can almost guarantee you Froley at some point is going to say, I want that, I want that.
That was the wrong lineup, by the way. You see, there is no 13 anywhere.
And there's no 13105, it's
yeah,
two
they have
T100s.
Froley's on T100.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, because we've said this before, if you're the defending team, you can usually always get your T100 across in that position unspotted. If you're sending a bat chat, the bat chat doesn't have the same camo value that the light has, and the bat chat does get wrecked going into that position.
This is the problem now. Lucky Blast's job here was to pretty much chase off Rolly and to maybe pressure him with HP because he's a low silhouette to make him go away. But because when you want to pressure the cap down here like Claudia is now, you have a couple of tanks behind. You can get shot by Angie from K4 and the most importantly by the light from other side. But light being on 100% of HP, that cannot happen anymore.
Froley's going for the kill. He's moved himself around the corner.
Yeah, he needs to clear him and there is a lot of time on the cap.
Froley can trade, but he has the worry of anyone being behind him. But there he goes. He takes a shot, misses his shot, takes two because there's an Senti is there. Overwatch. Lucky Blast going to peek out, tracks him, and that is a terrible trade for Froley. Takes another one as well because there's a crossfire from Andre in the middle, and that is a big misplay there from Froley. 10 seconds left on the cap. We're down to 6 seconds now. Unji's going to come off reload, hopefully get the reset. If he doesn't, that's the only shot coming in. Overus might get one as well. 1 second, reset coming in from Unji.
Now we have a Gremek and Halo deleting. Look, in this game is definitely going to Who Cares side. After that initial opening, they completely forgot. They can get shot from the hill. The light position in the water is not safe because of that.
No, reset coming in last second, but you cannot have Overus peeking. Overus is now in a reload. He's having to move away. It's only Unji. Unji can't reload in time, and Who Cares have capped right under the nose of eSuba. Who Cares now into match point 4-2, and Who Cares are saying to eSuba, hey boys, we want that 6th spot. You're not going to keep a hold of it. Madness.
Wow. So Who Cares actually took 2 rounds on mines. The last one is questionable how it happened, whatever. But they're on match point and they will go with match point on Sand River. And I have actually a feeling they're going to close the match there. And eSuba.
Your predictions, mate, are just right out the window right now.
Who cares?
5-2, then you're like Cliff's going to be 2-0 eSuba. No one's going to take 2 rounds in mines. Like,
what do I know, man?
You know, like it's my predictions are rubbing off on you, Mojo.
Your predictions are even worse than mine, man.
I know, but as I was saying, it's now starting to affect your predictions. Who Cares now on match point 4-2? Not really expected. If Who Cares, man, if Who Cares can make it into the playoff position, they would have a huge support here as well.
They would need first to win this.
The last match will be hard as hell.
They cannot allow. They must win this round actually to be above eSuba.
Got to play Go Hard, and Go Hard are going to want 3 points as well.
No. Like eSuba beat them last time 5-3. So if they keep the score like this and they win this round 5-2, they are 100% above eSuba if they take 3 points against Go Hard.
Yeah, they've still got another hard match.
So there is still another one, but step by step.
And then they still have to get through playoffs if they were to come to. Oh man, it could be like the Cinderella story coming in right at the end.
I don't know, man. Cinderellas usually don't flip their tanks that much.
Dude, imagine if they were. Could they?
I don't want to imagine. I want to see what they're gonna do on Sand River.
I jokingly said there was a potential for 6th spot can't get through to Moscow. They could actually if they got all the way through to the final.
Of course.
Madness. That would be a Cinderella story and a half.
That's a Sparta. Well, let's see. Sand River, Who Cares, will be attacking. eSuba will be defending. None of them are really too brilliant on any of the roles here, but both of these need some points. Honestly, eSuba will be more than happy if they just manage to take 1 point because then they're done. They don't have to worry about anything else.
STRV coming out on the attacking side of Who Cares. Rhein Panzer coming out on eSuba. We've seen some teams actually move away from that because it did get a change in the recent patch that made it not as favourable as it was. I guess aim time and its reload actually a bit longer.
3 heavies for Who Cares, 3 Bachats and an STRV. STRV on standard position, we've seen how they take out the light. I hope Combat is not going for that position because it's absolutely not safe.
Halo, Pure Love Dora and Senti pushing up into the middle. We've not seen this happen for a long time because tanks used to get wrecked for it. A lot of teams abandoned it. It was actually Who Cares have been annihilated in this crossing, dropping 2 5As really quickly when we've done it before. But looks like these 3 IS-7s are going to get up into this area and relatively safely,
because like eSuba actually put all chips on all cards down because they thought there will be a push from Who Cares on the lower side and they wanted to have a mass tanks for that specific action.
They have no one over as well on the other side of the road up ahead of them.
And now these heavy tanks are taking these crucial positions. They're covered by STRV and the Bachats are slowly taking the lower ground for Who Cares. This is actually a really good start for Who Cares.
Who cares able to get 3 IS-7s up in this area. Now, eSuba having to bring back all of their tanks into this top corner. Normally, where you see Frawley at A9, he would be across at A8 on the other side of the road. If he tries to do that, all 3 IS-7s are going to shoot at him. Not sure if Lucky Blast has vision all the way back up there to connect into anything as well, but he is giving cover to his teammates. You have Andre now starting to move up along the A-line. Number 1, Claudia on the south of the map, and Grimmick can now sweep in around the right-hand side as well, and eSuba might find himself really holed up in his top corner, Mojo. This is good map control here from Who Cares.
Well, the only problem here is actually position of Lukin. If Who Cares understands that he's so alone, they might actually commit with enough forces to take him out, but they will take a lot of damage to do it. Because they have only 3 bachas, they could charge him with 2, and they would probably lose 1 doing so. And if they don't clip out well, maybe even 2. But there you go, eSuba is already boosting that position, Overus is close, so that window is already closed. Now, okay, Who Cares has a good, decent middle position, but you usually don't use 3 heavy tanks to do so. So now you might even use an expression, they're stuck there. Because from that position, they cannot really go anywhere now.
I just realised I'm saying triple bachas, but there is a 5A, so it's IS-7, double IS-7, 5A. My bad, chat. Thanks for pointing that one out.
Well, eSuba, as we said, they have nothing to do. They are covering their lower ground positions. They have a lot of tanks amassed up, so they can do a counter-attack. And now they're just like amoebas waiting for something to happen so they can react.
If you're eSuba, Mojo, are you going to be comfortable with this defensive position?
If I was eSuba, I would just make sure these heavies don't rotate anywhere, and I would wait. There is nothing for them else to do. You don't have to do any kind of suicidal push to try to top the enemy, because as long as these heavies are stuck there, Who Cares actually has no potential to charge any specific area. The only way they could charge anything is to gather up those butchats and all heavies and risk everything and just go down. And they missed all the shells on Frawley now. This is even worse for them, because now Frawley from this position is far superior to them, and he can harass them endlessly.
Oh, great shot already there from Frawley. Now taking that position we were talking about at the start, he can put a bit of pressure into these double IS-7s and 5A of Sente. This is a nice play here from eSuba to start to regain control of this area.
Frawley should just go HE and start spamming them now.
This looks like he has 5 shots there, so puts 11 into the face of Halu, and they shoot back at him with HE. 15.
Take some of our HE.
This is going to be the damage trade-off of the century right now, and Frawley misses with the second shot.
Damage gun and 15 HP on one side, 11 HP on another.
Oh, he's lost his commander's cupola now, he's lost his viewport.
What will he do?
Miss. That gun, that damaged gun. I mean, it does. He's going to have the
8 HP. Davai. IS-7 turret better than mouse turret, proven, mate.
The gunner skill that allows him to still shoot with a damaged gun. 37, bit better. I guess.
Okay, 60
rounds.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
A gunner also.
Low. That was super low though. Was that a HE? What was that?
It was HE that pinned, man.
And number 1 just sitting here going, okay, you guys have your fun.
But 5 minutes to go. This is really pointless action, because in one moment they have to push with something, and they're gathering up their mediums to push the top side. Shots off. Who Cares are already down, ready to boost the position of the heavy tank. Pure, but we've seen if there is a significant and hard enough push, we've seen on a case of a Go Hard versus Oops yesterday, you will always win that engagement there. If you send enough tanks, you will win.
Actually, watching that fight, it was really nice what Failware did, because he went in and rammed somebody. He was on a reload, couldn't do anything else, went in and rammed somebody and tracked him so that the IS-7 could get them. It was a really cool play. Yeah, it was a tough match yesterday between Oops and Go Hard, but practically check, just peeking, not taking a shot. 2 went his way and didn't connect. Slow match right now. Who Cares?
I don't know, Who Cares?
Ready to receive this. Unji's going to go in and start the cap, it looks like, maybe.
No, he cannot start the cap, because there is IS-7 here. He's going to get wrecked.
Okay.
eSuba came to these positions, they have a lot of tanks around, and now they're sitting forever and ever waiting for what? What are you waiting for? The sky will not fall on the heads of Who Cares, and they will definitely not die on their own. You have to kill them.
It looked like on the minimap Unji was going to go for it, but he's sitting just off the edge of it.
Andre took some damage now.
Shot there, yep. This came from a single shooter.
That's all fine.
looking, I guess.
These guys have full shells here, so that I-7 is really nice and cushy in that position, and they just need to create a lot of cover fire against Bachats, because their own tanks can do something against that I-7. The main problem are actually the guys they can't even see on the higher ground. Now they can do a lot of havoc unpunished. You can see why is this position so problematic. There is so many rocks covering it from the left and right side. You actually have to expose yourself a lot. And there is this little sand dune that also covers him. It gives a good cooldown to I-7. So you really have to expose your tank entirely to attack it. And they could have done it in the start of the game while Who Cares was still wasting their time climbing a Patton who actually came down from the hill, because they know that all of the tanks from these guys are down here.
So the Patton got shot at by Combat and STRV, so they know exactly where Combat is. They don't know where Frawley is, but they're going to have a good guess that he's over that way. Unji did come over to help his teammates initially from that area, but now he's going to go back over to the previous position he was. At what point, Mojo, if any, did it call Frawley over as well and just go all in here?
Honestly, now I would say never. They should just leave. And leave the VZs there, covered by STRV, and just go with all Bachats from top side of the map, maybe. I completely don't like what's going on now. Like, if they attack, it's going to be your kind of yalla play.
It looks like they're wanting to try and peek with the heavies and then try and clip with the Bachats, but it's going to be a hell of a coordination to do that, because like you said, Pure Love is in between rocks on the left and rocks on the right, so the ones on the right cover him from those two Bachats.
It's not only on
Andrew and
rocks.
Unji peek up there, they're going to have multiple shots coming in ahead of them as well. So
it's not only rocks, it's the sand dunes that are covering his entire body. That's the main problem. The rocks you can work around, you can find an angle, but how you can't work against the cooldown position he's in. He's like in a little hole in the ground.
Now, Frawley has moved off that area, coming over to the back of where Combat is, and gets himself spotted out, spots out Senti in the meantime. Now they're going to push in. Unji and Andrew are going to go one side. Heavy's going to go around the other side. They need to focus Pure Love really quickly here. More damage needs to go into him quickly. Then they need to back off and get themselves safe before they can start doing something else. Overus does get that kill. Now, what can eSuba do? Are they going to continue to push here, Mojo? It looks like they're going to keep trying to get map dominance here.
I have no idea what were the mediums from Who Cares doing. They were supposed to do a lot of damage on those mediums while they are clipping like this. They really gave them the heavy tank for free, a lot of positions for free. Now Unji can actually retract himself, he can reload, and Who Cares are just sitting like, I don't know, like sitting ducks, man.
Andrea and Lucky Blast playing on this ridge line here. They're hull down, they are shooting across. Pratlicek did get a nice shot into Lucky Blast there. Unji and Andrew now able to retreat to safety. The heavy tanks of eSuba have got himself relatively safe behind cover as well. Overus does have damaged ammo rack, so he's going to be reloading ever so slightly slower. But kind of working eSuba's favor. They took a lot of damage for it, but they have dropped Pure Love from that position and got him out of that area.
It definitely paid off. It definitely paid off by far. Even this ammo rack by Overus will be repaired. And they gave some damage to the mediums also, so that's also going for them. In this kind of the game, they're a gun up, and they are actually even some HP up.
Combat in the STRV now in the cap circle, starting at the cap. That's going to start forcing Who Cares to have to get vision on the cap, to start blind firing or start doing something to try and get better vision on the angles of where eSuba are. And now eSuba are in control here of this match, and they're forcing Who Cares into making moves.
STRV is the lowest, like the best camo value tank in the team of eSuba, of course. He probably even has camo net, so when he's not in that siege position, he's just really flat tank, and it's hard to spot him. So here on the edge of the cap, someone actually has to expose himself fully so you could shoot him from the distance, but the guy who does the spotting, that's the guy who's going to take the most damage. Triple cap. Now, this is a huge problem, and eSuba, I mean, Who Cares will actually have to send someone now in a suicidal spot.
Who Cares going to have to push in and go suicidal now. We're down to 15 seconds on the cap. Andrew gets shot at immediately. Pratlicek is spotted. He backs off and starts shooting. Combat's going to stay in that cap circle. He's not spotted. Pressure's still on. We're back down to 50 seconds now. What's going to happen is they're going to get despotted. They're going to push back up again and just keep the pressure on Who Cares, because Who Cares are now committing themselves fully into having to reset every time this happens.
Again, a triple cap. Gremek here is already on a third of his HP. He has to go YOLO and spot. 9 seconds. There is a reset on Andrew. There is a reset on another Bachat, but they still didn't spot Combat.
They're just going to back off again, go unspotted, peek back up again and try and get shots back in. Andre's now going aggressive underneath. He's going to try and get proxy spots, but it's not happening. Andrew and Pratlicek want to trade some shots. Two tanks on the cap circle, back to 8 seconds. Another one might push in right now. Andrew's going suicidal now, trying to get a desperate spot onto Combat. Pradlicek and Andrew coming out to block him. There's no reset coming in because Combat isn't in line of sight. There is a last-minute shot coming in, but doesn't reset, and that means that eSuba are going to take that round. That means eSuba are now going to force the match into tiebreaker, and it also vitally means that eSuba are now safe in 6th spot on the league table.
Yeah, there is nothing else that Who Cares can do here, except potentially swap places with Savage Squad. eSuba managed to fight their way to the 6th spot, winning their first cherry round on Sand River, a first ever attack won. And it was a decent attack here. I like how those budgets covered I hear some weird voices who are repeating what I just said.
It's like we just said eSuba are guaranteed 6th spot because Who Cares can't catch them. Pretty sure we just said that. It's almost like somebody's not listening to what we're saying.
But never mind that. In this case here now, a nice attack here, covered by budgets in last seconds because they saw Andre coming in for a reset, but they just came with their bodies between because they knew even if they die, it doesn't matter anymore. The 100% cap was there on STRV.
Yeah, nicely played as well because you saw the two Batchats then just run in front of the STRV to protect him from being shot, and then when the shot did finally get an angle, it was too late. So going into Ghost Town, it was banned out. We said if it does go into tiebreaker, it could be quite interesting because it was a ban. For the teams, it's going to be Who Cares who had the quickest win. They're going to choose the side, and they're choosing the defense, Mojo.
Okay, you know, like defense is decent if you choose it. If that's what they chose, I didn't even see that. But yeah, they're there on the screen. Wow, pay attention, Mikhailo. Pay attention.
What do I say?
So in this tiebreaker, eSuba really, they don't care what they're going to do. They can just take 7 tanks in YOLO now, because their fights until the playoffs are done.
Yeah, they're okay. The thing is they have no idea who they want to play. And when you guys were talking to, Hulknick, not Shockish, yesterday, you joked about, who would you rather play, eSuba or somebody else? And he was like, last time against eSuba it didn't go quite well for us.
Everyone said we want to play rather eSuba than someone else.
Yeah.
That's the.
Oh, they've decided they want to go on the other side now. Okay.
Can you even do that?
I don't know if they can do that or not.
Obviously, it was done. It was
done.
So
it can be
okay,
done.
Who Cares is actually attacking now. Okay, whatever.
Who cares?
We'll just go with the flow.
Yeah. eSuba still managing to stay in. They came up last season. All Czech team managing to stay in for their 2nd season. I wonder if they're still going to be an all Czech lineup in the future, or will they think, okay, guys, maybe we have to start, surviving relegation is no longer like a goal for us type thing.
Top 6 is a big deal here because you don't have to deal with anything else until the rest of the season. I mean, you have a chance to go to the offlines, you have a chance to go to the grand finals. Under the grand finals rules, as far as we were reading them today, top 2 teams from the EU finals in Katowice are going automatically.
Yeah.
And then between who is 3rd and 4th, who has like better standings in this online stage, he's going. So by that Kazna is going 100% no matter what, even if they lose the matches in there,
and then,
they should go.
Then realistically, the only way that then eSuba could get to go to grand
is to
finals
be a finalist.
Is to be a finalist, because if they were 3rd or 4th, somebody's always going to be placed higher than
there is
them.
always a chance.
There's always a chance. That would be the most amazing Cinderella story ever. From 6th place to season finals to.
It's something like Eclipse did in NA. Like they came from silver, won the season, came to the grand finals.
They got to grand finals because the guys that were leading all the time, which I think was Noble, lost their semi-final, which meant when it came to the final between Eclipse and, at the time it wasn't Elevate, it was what Elevate were before that, Apex. That final match didn't actually mean anything because both teams, well, it meant who wanted to win the American League, but both teams were comfortable knowing that they were going to the grand finals in Moscow regardless. Well, that was not Moscow, that was Poland, sorry, before we had it in Warsaw.
So Who Cares here is attacking, eSuba is defending. Combat strike number 2, manages to climb now. Okay, the cap is covered. Froley as a forward spotter in his 1-1-3. Do we have a type 5 here? Nope, we just have looking in the mouse and over us.
Looking in over us. Unji coming over there as well to try and get a bit of coverage over onto the base 1 area. Come around the back, team up with Pratlicek.
Full YOLO setup by Who Cares. They have no single medium here.
Triple mouse, 113.
Triple mouse,
Double
113 VZ and double 57s, full heavy brawl setup.
I always like it when you see the T57s on one side against the 50Bs on another side.
Well, 50Bs you usually take as defender because then you need to rotate more and take different paths. But if you want to, if you know your tactic as an attacker, you can keep your forces much closer and then you can utilize 57s much better.
Nothing says we want a fight than T57s, I feel, when you see them on Ghost
It's
down.
a good clipper tank with really huge burst, fast reload, heat shells that are really good against super heavies, and the good armor. Turret armor is really magnificent, but the problem with the 57 is speed. Compared to 50B, it's really slow.
eSuba happy to play this one nice and slow, probably wanting to get into that position, but take one possibly from
He's just looking for an angle to decap.
eSuba, as the defenders, can run the clock down, but have to be a bit careful because there is a cap going on right now from a mouse, but they can see the timer, so you know you've got plenty of time to play around it. Trying to go for splash there with HE Frawley.
He doesn't have many HE shells though, like 3 left.
Nothing for 2.
40 seconds, there must be a response now by the rest of the tanks because it's getting too tight.
eSuba, 30 seconds left. At what point does Who Cares say, let's try and push somebody else in? It looks like Gremic is lining up to try and get a push in.
There is a reset
There's
coming
a reset coming in. Gremic was thinking about it.
But Frawley taking a lot of damage for that pleasure. 1k HP down. Overus also took a shell, but that was earlier. And still most of the tanks from Who Cares were not spotted. They're massing up their forces, and I believe the main attack will be on Frawley. When they start the push from the lower side, Frawley will be the first one to fall. There is really, really scarce defense on that side from eSuba tanks.
Frawley could potentially feel the pain in just a couple of seconds once Halu and Sente are ready to make that push. Gremic is also there in that position as well, so he can weather some shots while the T57s move over. But Andrew's taking a hit there in his AMX. Cap pressure being applied again, and it's going to force eSuba into having to decide to do something here. Lucky Blast just kind of distracting him at the top of the map there. Lucan getting wrecked for this.
eSuba is really not looking well in this round. Like, Lucan is getting pounded from all the sides. It does look like eSuba actually has no idea what they want to do with this game whatsoever. Why Who Cares has a plan they're executing. So they will be amassing of forces of eSuba coming from the top side of the map because they realize there is virtually no defense from there by Who Cares. But Who Cares will counter push from another one. And look at the damage coming on Lucan!
No reset coming in there for Lucan. We're down to 27 seconds. There's Gremic and there's the WZ coming beside him to force additional pressure on the cap. We're down to 6 seconds. Frawley runs into Overus rather than going over to get a reset. We're down to 3 seconds. Multiple shots coming in, but they're desperation shots now coming in from eSuba. They're having to throw everyone in. Desperately trying to clamber to get resets here. We're back down to 30 seconds. 3 tanks on the cap. Halu's now going to come in behind them as well. Now this is going to be dangerous for eSuba. They've lost 2 tanks already. They've lost their Leopard and they've lost a Mouse. Who Cares still have a hell of a lot of HP on the board, and Mojo, I really don't see any way for eSuba to come back from this right now.
No, there is no coming back from this. This is lost. This is a 5-4 for Who Cares. I can't say they're super satisfied with it, but it's better than nothing.
eSuba just continuing to bleed HP now. They can no longer trade with the tanks of Who Cares. Who Cares just going super aggressive. Gremic might get dropped for Who Cares, but well, Who Cares exactly is what they are going to say to that. Prattlecheck taking lots of damage for eSuba as he backs off. Overus Frawley, Prattlecheck all on eSuba on 1 shot. Only Andrew and Unji have a bit of HP left. Senti's going to come round with 2 shots in his T57 to try and take out Frawley and Overus. He misses with 1. He's going to put 1 into Frawley next. No! He takes out Overus, so Senti on a triple kill there with his T57. 6 seconds left on the cap. eSuba only have 4 tanks. Like I said, 3 of them on a 1 shot. And well, there's the cap coming in. They're not going to throw anyone else at it. This one's done and dusted. Who Cares picking up the match? 5-4, but unfortunately it doesn't change anything at the bottom of the table regarding that 6th spot.
Yes, 6th spot is guaranteed. eSuba is staying there and no one can challenge them anymore.